Welcome to this afternoon's presentation. We're talking about collaboration, and specifically collaboration tools that Autodesk has to offer in the cloud and how they can help you and your manufacturing teams deliver excellence when you come to manufacture your componentry. So collaboration. What's collaboration? You know, we all think we understand what the word means literally. I thought I'd dig into the world of Google and actually pick out some interesting phrases and how famous people have envisaged collaboration over the years. So we're going to start off with a great British and scientific inventor, Sir Isaac Newton. What did he think about collaboration? And there's a very famous quote that's attributed to him, saying that if I've seen further, it is purely because he's been standing on the shoulders of giants. So he was a genius, he achieved an awful lot, but a lot of that was built on the hard work of the team that had predated him and his peers that he worked with at the time. Moving slightly further forwards in time, the American author and political activist Helen Keller, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. I think it says a great deal about the art of collaborating. No matter how good one person is, you can collaborate as a team, you can do so much more. And maybe bringing it right up to modern times, the great Michael Jordan, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. And I think that sums up collaboration absolutely perfectly. So we understand what collaboration means literally, and hopefully we understand the value that it can give to us. We can deliver more if we collaborate as a team. We're going to talk about three key pieces of technology that Autodesk has to offer to our subscribers, to our products, that can help them collaborate more efficiently. And these collaboration tools revolve around the use of the cloud. And the first is something that we call shared views. So what are shared views? Shared views are a cloud-based tool that allow teams to collaborate and review dynamically and interactively data that is relevant to a manufacturing process. It is a benefit to any Autodesk subscriber, regardless of the products that you subscribe to. And in essence, what we're able to do with shared views is export a snapshot of a manufacturing process at any given moment in time and save this to the cloud and invite key project stakeholders, be those colleagues, fellow engineers, suppliers, customers, anybody that's relevant to the project you're working on, and invite them to review your data and engage in an interactive conversation to talk about problems that you might be facing at that time. Now crucially, and this is super key, super important in the world of collaboration, we're very aware of intellectual property rights and IP. And so with shared views, because we understand that your views may be shared with a broad audience, you control that audience, but you may well be sharing it widely, we don't actually upload the raw data that you will be working on, be that a CAD model or some CAM data or any other engineering data. Instead, what we do is we sanitize it and convert it into like a tessellated model. That means you don't have to worry about breaking your IP agreements with your end customers. And once your data has been revealed through shared views, you can share it with, as I say, colleagues, customers, suppliers, or anybody else who you would like to invite for an opinion and engage in that conversation. And you can grant access to that team for 30 days or keep renewing that access to let that roll over and again. And as you'll see in a moment, using shared views allows you and your teammates and your collaborators to interact with your data in a 3D dynamic way. And at any time, if you need to, you can withdraw access from your team and return back to the state where only you can see the data that you're working on. So let's take a little look at shared views in action, and I'll walk you through a typical story of how shared views is used. So in this case, we're showcasing our Autodesk PowerMill software. It's CAM programming software. And the person driving the software has reached a point in time where they'd like to canvass the views of colleagues to discuss how this part is being manufactured. And so we create a shared view entity. We give it a unique name so that we can differentiate it from any other shared view. And at that point, the data that's on screen at this moment in time is made available on the cloud. It's uploaded to the cloud, and I can now access that data, as you can see on screen, without having to have a subscription or a license to any Autodesk software. And in fact, I'm just using an internet browser and just browsing to a URL and looking at the data. So I can interrogate that model, I can spin it around, I can isolate key pieces of the geometry and really dig deep into that information. Maybe analyse the cutting tool, how big is it, what length flutes are we using, etc. Look at the tool paths, figure out what feed, speed, step overs and step downs are being used. And then I can share that data with my teammates, be it shift managers, machine operators, suppliers, customers, anybody that you want to canvas a view on. And then those guys can go and use their mobile devices, anything that's connected to the cloud, be it an iPhone, an Android device, a tablet or a desktop PC, they can log in and see that data in real time. What's really nice about shared views is that we can have a conversation. We can use instant messaging technology to ask questions of the team that we're collaborating with. So I can say, hey, what do you think about this fixturing? Does this look good to you? And the person that I've asked can provide a quick and instant response. I could possibly even ask things like, where do you think I should put this fixture in? What tool should I use? I can really engage with my team and ask those key questions. So shared views allows me to really interact with my team in a safe and secure way using the power of the cloud. Now the second technology that we'd like to talk about today is Autodesk Drive. Now whereas shared views sanitizes your data and shares a snippet of information for the moment in time when you're working on your data, Autodesk Drive goes one stage further. And here, this is a cloud-based storage system that is secure, that allows you to upload the actual data you're working on, the entire CAD model assembly, the full Power Mill project data, the feature can model that you're working on, your Power Inspect reports that you're creating when you measure your components during the manufacturing process. So it is kind of like a Dropbox system, but boosted to support the kind of data that Autodesk engineers and customers like you are using. It includes viewables, so you can load an IGES file into Autodesk Drive, and without needing Autodesk software, you can view that IGES file, spin the model around and really interrogate it. And as well as those native files and neutral CAD models, we can load in all of the Autodesk file formats that our products support, be it an Inventor file, a Power Mill project, and so on. And just like with shared views, I can invite colleagues and other project stakeholders to effectively access the data. And they're accessing the final data, not a sanitized version of it, the actual data. And we can have similar sorts of conversations just like we saw previously on shared views. So let's have a look at Autodesk Drive in action and see some real examples of what we would do with it. So again, it's ideally suited for manufacturing teams. It's a cloud connected device so people can use their mobile devices to actually interact with the data that's on Drive. On this occasion, we're using Autodesk Power Mill again. We've created a CAM program, a process that's going to drive the machining of this injection mold tool. And that data is then being uploaded to Drive, and we can see Drive appearing on screen now. Once the data is in Drive, we can manage it and organize it using folder structures, and then invite project collaborators to access the data. Those project collaborators receive an invitation. Please look at my data. Please tell me what you think about it. Very similar to shared views, but they get access to the whole data set, not just a little snippet in time. And similar to shared views, you can see that the interface provides viewables. So as you'll see in a moment, I can actually access the data, I see a little thumbnail of it, and then I access a 3D view of the component that I can interact with, I can spin it around, I can measure it, I can really dig deep into the information contained within that data. So just to make it clear, shared views is a snippet in time. You want to collaborate with people and find out key answers to questions that you raise with them about that moment in your manufacturing process. Whereas Autodesk Drive gives those collaborators access to the entire data set that you've been working on at that moment in time. Now the third and final piece of technology we're going to touch on quickly, in fact, before we move on to that, let's look at a real-world example, of Autodesk Drive in action. So the video you see looping behind me is an example of Autodesk Drive displaying a metrology inspection report. So this is a situation where a component has been CNC machined, and then after the CNC machining process has been completed, we've used a spindle-mounted probe on the machine tool to measure key points on the component. And the coloured dots that you see on screen give me a representation of whether the part is good intolerance, bad, out of tolerance. And I can upload these inspection reports to Autodesk Drive and invite the quality control engineer, the shift manager, the customer and suppliers to review the data, and we can make a decision. In this case, this component has red dots all over it. It's not conforming, there's a problem. And I can use Autodesk Drive to interact with my team and make a decision as to what to do next. It could be that the tool was worn and we need to run another cut to finish the component off. And so Autodesk Drive is instrumental, it's central to that collaboration interaction that we have with our teammates. And that allows teams to move away from using printed documents and emails and ad hoc conversations by the coffee machine and interact live and in real time through the power of the cloud. So just to finish off, one third piece of technology that I'm really excited to talk about today is how we're using the cloud to streamline the management of CNC post processes. And this is something that we're calling post in the cloud. So a CNC post processor, let's talk about what that is. If you're familiar with CNC machining, CAM software generates a sort of like a neutral file that is not necessarily output for a specific machine tool. That outputting process uses a CNC post processor file. It converts CL data from the software to M and G codes that the machine tool will understand. And managing those post processes in a traditional fashion is quite risky. It relies on emails and exchanging files. Managing multiple files and multiple revisions of files for different machine tools can be quite a burden on the administrator of your manufacturing teams. And so it's rife with the opportunity for mistakes to happen. If you've got two engineers using a CAM programming software and they both claim to be using the same version of the post processor, but those files are different, which file are you supposed to be using? And if you get this wrong, you can have catastrophic side effects. You can effectively destroy machines, you can have some major problems occurring. So managing post processors for CAM software is error prone. If you don't do it right, you can have some major problems. But within the latest release of our Autodesk PowerMill software, we're now storing the post-processor files themselves on the cloud and doing it in a secure fashion to allow manufacturing teams to have the confidence that they can access the latest and correct version of post-processors at any time. So let's have a look at post in the cloud in action inside our PowerMill software. So in this case, we're thinking about one of our customers that's machining large parts on a large CNC machine tool, and they have many machine tools. Prior to this new technology, they would rely on emails to exchange post processors across the team. And so the onus there is on the individuals to be on top of that process. It's completely reliant on the human operators. And so in this case, because we're using the wrong version of the post processor, we've had problems. The posts in the cloud solution approaches things very differently. We have a database of different post processors based on machine type. So machine manufacturer, whether it's a 3-axis machine tool, a 5-axis machine tool, is it a Siemens controller, a Heidenhain controller, Fanuc controller? All of those variables are accessible by the Autodesk team. And we select from that recipe the post processor that is suitable for your individual machine tool, and then we upload it to your post in the cloud interface that you have access to. And then you, as an administrator of that system, can grant access to your PowerMill users. Once in the PowerMill software, I can access the post processor, find information about the make, the model, the controller type. I can access multiple revisions of it. So if I want to use the first revision, I have that option, or I can access the latest revision. I've got complete control. And then once I select the post processor, we can output the NC program to the CNC machine tool and have confidence that we've used the right version of the file for the specific machine that we're looking to run. There's no questions. I am not using an out-of-date file, I'm using the correct file. So I've got 100% confidence that I know that that machine tool is going to be run safely and we're going to machine the components correctly. And so to recap, we've shared with you today an insight into 3 pieces of collaboration technology. We've shown you shared views and how that can allow you to collaborate with your team, to share snippets, if you like, of your manufacturing process. We touched on Autodesk Drive and how we can use that to centralize the storage of our manufacturing data. And we also talked about this revolutionary new tool called Posts in the Cloud, These collaboration tools really help your manufacturing teams be far more efficient, more joined up, and allow them to make anything.